Hello, my name is Claire Hubbard and I'm Director of the Teach Hub. And as you can see from behind me, I'm going to try and explain about our Teach Hub Letters and Sounds phonics scheme. So this is like the introductory course just to show you some of our resources, what we've been doing and how you can sort of take what you want from our scheme, why we've done it and what it includes. So I'm just going to switch over to the screen and then I will talk you through it. Okay, so you should be able to see that original screen there. So that's just introducing our scheme. We've written this really because we wanted a letters and sounds scheme that followed some reading books, and we'd already purchased some for my school. And I was thinking of a way through where we could really get all the coverage for phase 5 in the order that we wanted to teach it, and so that it matched some phonic books as well. I'll talk you through the books that we use as we go through. We are applying for accreditation, but whether we get accreditation or not, we know that what we will be doing with the scheme will be covering everything that we need to. I'm looking at this screen now just because I've got two screens and I can have a look at the share on there. So a few people are thinking that there's a bit of a problem with the letters and sounds. Well, phonics has evolved, as it says, significantly in the last 10 years. And it looks like letters and sounds is being removed from the list of validated phonics programs. So what's changed? What is wrong with letters and sounds 2007? Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but as a program, it doesn't provide the support and guidance and resources and training needed, which is what is needed within a program now. So we have provided support, guidance, resources and training for letters and sounds with the Teach Hub. You don't have to stop using it at all. You don't have to have an Ofsted preferred program or approach, but you should have an approach that is rigorous, systematic, used with fidelity, and your resources should all match. You do not have to have the program from the validated list. It's not mandatory, but the one that you do use needs to make sure that you've got a good structure and that it covers all the validation points really, but you don't have to change it if you don't need to. You're getting good results and the children are reading and you're happy with it, then that's absolutely fine. But we felt we needed a more structured way support to go through, particularly phase 5. It always seemed a little bit vague to me. What do we need to teach here? And then trying to match that up with the national curriculum as well. So I'm going to show you how we've actually matched this all up with letters and sounds, national curriculum, and we've also put in anything that we need to do for the Phonic Screening Check as well. But yes, you can continue to use your own scheme, that's absolutely fine, or your own program. There's no obligation to use a validated one. You will need to have some decodable books though, and this is where I say that we highly recommend getting the books that match your phonics scheme of work. Now, because we do not provide the books at the Teach Hub, we have not got the books, but our scheme matches a few of those out there, particularly the ones that I'm using in my own school. So Big Cat Phonics, it will link into, Rising Stars, it links into, and other ones like the Oxford Reading Tree ones, they'll fit in approximately. You may have to wiggle a few books around if you follow our program. They are closely matched to the Big Cat and the Rising Stars ones though. It'll just mean looking at the content of your phonetically decodable books and then jiggling things around. But you'll see how we've linked it into book bands and all sorts as we go through. So we're going to be looking at the scheme, how it's matched to the validation, and we'll look at how all the 6 phases link together. We're going to show you handwriting, how we link in the reading and the spelling, and there's so much revision and consolidation and spiral learning within our scheme. So the children come back to what they've learned before again and again and again. And our scheme, actually, we've got the program and the desk charts that go right up to the top of Key Stage 2. So the spellings that the children need to learn in Key Stage 2, year 3, 4 and 5, 6, they're all linked in with the phonic charts as well. It will become clearer when you see what we're talking about. So what have we got in our scheme? Well, we've got a full overview mapping document. So it maps out what we should be teaching from early years foundation stage. So it starts from phase 2 to the end of Key Stage 1, and that includes, we've got a couple of mixed age provision. This is for 1, 2. This is because I wrote this for one of the schools that I'm working with. We've got desk charts for earlier foundation stage, are actually broken down into stages so that they're not either faced with all phase 2, 3 all at the same time. It's broken down into different sections. It's chart 2 for phase 3, and it's 2A, 2B, 2C, which you'll see later. And we've also got charts for year 1 and year 2. Year 1, we've got a reading chart and a spelling chart because they're going to learn how to read these graphemes before they can spell them. So we've got spelling ones that will go in front of them, reading ones that we've perhaps put up on the board. And Key Stage 2, there's one for year 3, 4, and there's one for year 5, 6 as well. And we've also got some brand new illustrated versions. So all the different graphemes now have got a little icon that go with them, and those icons are changed according to words that they match, and they go right up to year 6. We've got weekly units of works from phase 2 up to phase 5, and that includes an overview. We've got revision, we've got oral blending, so this links in phase 1 all the way through, right up to the end of phase 5. There's a teaching objective, there's word examples all there. These units of works definitely have to have segmenting and blending in. That's all part of the validation as well for the accreditation. Handwriting, reading and spelling practice. So we usually have 2 days of reading, 2 days of spelling, and then we have a day as well for those high frequency words. We've got pseudo word practice, sound button practice, and there's a daily PowerPoint, which is cumulative, so it builds. So if you start on 5A, when you do 5B, it will build on from 5A to 5B, and then it will take it to 5C, and those will eventually feed into the year 2 ones when we do them. And there's a task sheet if you want to use it. It's not always a task sheet. There's probably 4 out of the 5 days task sheets there if you want to use them. There's probably too much each day, so you can cherry pick what you want to do. We focus on high frequency words. As I said, they're listed within phases when we look at the decodable words that they can decode at that stage. And we also look at the tricky words, if you like. They're linked to the common exception words. All the common exception words for year 1 and year 2 are fed into the scheme according to their phonics and where would be the most appropriate time to teach them. So they're all taught as well. So there we go, we covered the common exception words. We've got assessment trackers and task sheets for each phase. So that's phase 2, 3, 4 and 5. And 5A is actually broken down. So you've got an assessment tracker, a little sheet for 5A, 5B, 5C and 5C. And there's also year 2 ones as well. We've got those ready and they're all part of it. We've got Phonic Screening Check coverage with words all in structure order. I'll show you these as we go through. These were a request, so we've now made flashcards for every phase, and they're again broken down into 5A, 5B, 5C, and they will have two fonts. We've got the Comic Sans and the Sassoon Primary, and also got word samples on there. That was a request, and then somebody requested the wall display cards. We've got those as well now, so they're ready to go up on the wall. And we've got phonic recovery resources. Now we had an outline for phonic recovery resources last year for year 1, 2 and 3, but now we've got PowerPoints that go with them. And it takes a little bit from, say we're doing year 2, we've got phonic recovery from year 1 as well. So we've got work from year 1 that feeds the year 2. So we've got the catch up and the current year 2 work. So we're still looking at the year 2 work, but we're catching up using the year 1. And that happens to be the same for year 3 as well. We'll catch up with year 1 and 2 within the year 3 ones. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got spelling PowerPoints. Now, these are sets of PowerPoints for years 1 and 2. We have got lower key stage 2 as well. We haven't quite got on to making the upper key stage 2 ones of those. And this delves into the spellings a little bit more. So there are phonic links in there, but it delves into those spellings. So let's have a look at some of the validation. So this is what we need to have to be validated, and anything in yellow is we can say now we've got this. And as I say, we've applied for the validation. So it is a complete program. It is the prime approach, which is systematic and synthetic phonic work. It is structured, very structured all the way through. We've got daily teaching sessions, and they tend to follow the same sort of routine where you can deviate from it, but the pattern is there. We've got a defined group of grapheme phoneme correspondences, so we know what we teach where that enable the children to spell words very early on. We've got little words coming up very early on. And we always do this. We progress from the simple to the more complex, and we put them in the right order for our books, which links into the letters and sounds. And it covers all the major grapheme and phoneme correspondences, the GPCs. Blending, we know that's in there. We tell you we do that. We actually show them how to do this from left to right. Segmenting is there. We've got sound buttons and phoneme frames, especially at phase 2 in those early stages. We've got plenty of opportunity to practice and apply, and there's dictation there, that we use dictation within the high frequency word days as well. Common exception words are there, or tricky words. Handwriting is there as well now, so we've got handwriting, and we're forming all the letters properly with some animations. And there's direct teaching sessions there, which can be multisensory, and these can be used either in the classroom or remote. We have used them remotely during COVID as well, so we know that they're okay, because they can be delivered online, either live or recorded. The text we've talked about, that they must be there, but we've linked ours to texts that are already published, and we've got guidance and resources to ensure that they're carried out, and we've got training as well. Training is available, so anybody who buys the scheme is entitled to training from us to either attend a session similar to this, or we will deliver this to your school. There'll also be free training places for some members of your staff to come along. The assessment shows that we can check where the programme meets the needs of all those children, and it does cover those that are at the lowest attaining as well. It always, as I said, it goes back to cover those areas where they might be stuck. Okay, so this is what we needed to include. Obviously, we've got the alphabet with the vowels. We do focus a lot on the vowels here. We've got the consonant phonemes and the vowel phonemes. This has come from the Letters and Sounds Advisory book. So those are the ones that we will include as the basis for phase 2 and phase 3. And then we take the different ways of spelling these when we get further on in the scheme. So you can see we've got the phonemes, we've got all the vowels here, and then some of the 140 letter combinations are illustrated in words. So for example, these are the vowels here, and then if we're looking at A, we've got A, all these different ways, AI, AY, split digraph, A on its own, and all of those are covered, all the different ways. Okay, I'm just going to whiz through that little bit there. We don't need that bit. Okay, so a discrete phonics session, which is what we're expecting to see, daily phonics every day. It does go through this multi-sensory, interactive and fun way. We revisit and review, you'll see this. We teach something, we practice, and then the children get a chance to apply. We do like to use books, lined books, to write in as well, so that they've got a record and they're practicing the handwriting on lines. We also like the children to be, when they're recording, to sit at desks as well. This is all the sorts of things that we would tell you if we came in to do the introduction. And obviously you could answer any questions as well. This is our tracker for reading graphemes and words, and this is the first little bit here. It's phase 2, 3 and 4. This is what is covered. You will probably recognize this as being group set 1, set 2, set 3 within phase 2, and then we've got phase 3 sounds here. So this follows the route exactly from letters and sounds. These try to match in with the books, approximately the pink books, approximately the red books if you're looking at book bands, because of a lot of the phonic books are book banded as well. There's some overlap here between phase 4, between yellow and blue here, where we're looking at these different structures of words. Then there's year 1, covers all these sounds here, and then we're looking at the green and the orange and looking at the turquoise level. So this is year 1, and you can see we look at phase 5A is the first 6 weeks. So this will be autumn 1, this will be autumn 2, spring 1, spring 2, and then when you look at the summer term for 5C, there's these new areas, but a lot of the rest is revision of these. We do them again and we go right back to the foundation stage, and we make sure that we cover all the different graphemes again in this summer term. When we're looking at year 2, we're looking at turquoise, purple, gold and white-ish. So again, autumn 1, autumn 2, spring 1, spring 2, this is summer term here. And again, if you're looking at these sorts of reading books, if you're on here, they should be able to read these books. These sounds are introduced at these levels within the text that we're looking at. The spelling one is slightly different because there's less on it. So we've got a reading tracker and a spelling tracker, and you can see the expectations at the end of the summer. That's where we'd expect the children to sort of gradually move through. Okay, so what is the content of a unit of work? Well, we're PowerPoints for each day, as you can see. So there's actually 5 PowerPoints. We have converted them to PDFs too, so that if PowerPoint doesn't work, or sometimes the formatting or the fonts don't work properly, then you can open up the PDF. These are all editable though, if you want to open those up, if you want to change them, but if it's a bit of a faff and it's not working very well, just open the PDF. We've got task sheets for these days. It's usually the tricky word day in the middle, and we're usually focusing on reading words, reading captions and sentences, and we'll do a tricky word day. The 4th day is usually spellings, and then the 5th day, that would be spellings and words. The 5th day would be spellings in sentences, generally. And again, we've PDF'd those as well for you. There's a tricky word day in the middle, always a tricky word day, focusing on the words that should be expected at that time. We've got an overview here, just to say what's going on and what we're covering over the week. And it is in Sassoon Primary Standard. That's a free download if you want it, and you can replace the font if you need to, but we're all saved as PDFs. Okay, phase 1, lots to do with sounds, and I'll say this oral blending and segmenting runs through all of our units. The day 1, 2, 4 and 5 will have oral blending and segmenting in there, and obviously there'll be some within the tricky words as well. So our units start from phase 2, where we're teaching 19 letters and we're reading these tricky words here. So these will be in the tricky words. We have made this last for about 6 weeks, as you can see. So this is set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5, set 6, and so on. And there's the tricky words that we include. These are ones you can spell once you know some of these letters. And this is our reception chart. So this is phase 2 and goes down to the double L. So we do include those double letters there. And each of these, when they're introduced, have got an action. So we've got the phoneme actions. These are available so that we can show these. I've also videoed myself demonstrating all of these right up to the end of phase 3. So they're available as well. This is a typical unit now. So this is introducing the letter G. You can see there's the oral blending. And then we'll do the revision of the letters that they know already. I can recognise the grapheme G for girl, and there she is. And then we'll show where she is on the chart so the children can recognise her on there. We'll always show that we've got a capital letter G and a lowercase, and then we'll show how this is written. And this will be shown within the units, but we've also got a completely separate PowerPoint to show each of the letters as well. We'll show the rhyme or the action to remember, so girl, and we might have a little bit of information about the girl, and we'll have some words. So these are the flashcards that are available. They're on the PowerPoint, but they're available separately, so you can print them off if you want to. We always have sound buttons as well. These will be based on the sounds that they already know. So can you find the words? There'll be a list of words in the overview, and it might say something like, how would you make the word pan or nap? Anything, but just using those two vowels. That's as far as they've got, and we've got the G there added in. But sometimes the new letter is added in the week after. We added it in this time. And then we go through a lot of modelling, sound talk and repeating. So we're using the letter, we show the sounds with the sound buttons in the phoneme frame, we show the direction, and if we can, and it's available, we'll perhaps add a little picture in on the second time. You can take the pictures off, or you can add the pictures on. There's quite a few of these. I've cut quite a few out just for the demonstration purposes, otherwise it would have taken too long as it happens too. Fair look. And nag, just looking at two sorts of nag there, and fag, and so on. Okay, so you can see it goes on, and you can do as much or as little of this as you like. We always add alien words in every unit, or pseudo words, using the letters that they know up to that point. We highlight the vowels in red as far as we can, not in all of them, but especially at the beginning, so they know that there's a vowel within each word. And then this is a typical reading activity, which word matches the picture. And we go through a few of these, and then they would have a task sheet where they would have to find the word to match the pictures. And most of the pictures there are the ones already in the PowerPoint. And there also is the handwriting. This is in the handwriting pack, but it's also within the units. When we get to phase 3, obviously we'll be running phase 2 as well, because all those letters in phase 2 will feed phase 3. But now we're looking at another 25 graphemes, and we are reading more words that are tricky at this time because they don't know that the letter E will say E yet. They do learn that in phase 5. And then we're spelling the words that they could read before. Now it's got suggested timings of 12 weeks. We take this almost to the end of reception, but we leave about half a term for phase 4 to begin. You'll see how this is repeated again and again within our program here. So this is phase 2. I've covered up a lot of these because a lot of these are for sale, but this is phase 3, and it comes down here and then it's repeated again. This is phase 4. Okay, so they're the pink signs and then the red. This is our phase 3 chart here. So it's used also for phase 4, reception, beginning of year 1. This is 2C. Don't forget we've got 2A and 2B, because this is phase 2 up to here. And so we add a line at a time, and this is the full one. We also have actions again for phase 3. A typical phase 3 would be to perhaps look at the sound ch, and then we've got the chart again. We'd highlight it where it is, oral blending, sound buttons. You can see the yellow ones and new ones that they've just learned, and we've got the red vowels again. We've got ch, we say it's a digraph. We blend to read. This is something now we've put in which is silent reading, so they have to read this in their head. This will be the same all week, so they keep coming back to it and coming back to it so that they can have lots of practice. Sound buttons are additional words each day. The alien or pseudo words are the same each week, so they get plenty of practice. So this will be the same all week, using sounds that they already know and their graphemes. And then again, this is a typical reading. Read the words and circle the word that matches the picture. Phase 4 is Very similar, but we do gradually build up from CVCC to CCVC words and then spelling them, and then we start to make the words longer and longer over. We've got this for 6 weeks, I think. Phase, yeah, down here. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7 weeks there for phase 4. And we look at the short vowels and the long vowels, and they match really the yellow book bands and the blue book bands ish there. Okay, so that depends on which scheme you're using. So we don't need any more graphemes here because phase 4 doesn't have any more. Now it's phase 5 that is the one that we've had to break down into smaller chunks to make it more manageable. So the first half term we'll be looking at reading and spelling. So we're reading lots of graphemes, we're reading and we're spelling alternative ones, okay? So the ones that they learn for reading will be eventually in the spellings for year 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is a reading chart for year 1. You can see it's quite full. We've got lots of different ways of spelling A and D and so on. And this is less full because this is the spelling expectations. This links in with the national curriculum. And you can see we find areas that have got the high frequency words on here and sounds like oo and u, and looking at ERE and saying it says ear and it also says air like there. So we put those in as well so that we can compare things as we go along. And this is the year 1 overview. And we start with the first term here where we've got just 6 weeks and then some revision. And the 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks is 5A, and these are our illustrated charts. And if they've not got a little green mark on highlighter, that means they were taught in phase 3. So I'm just going to show you the whole one of 5A because you can see we teach them PH for F and we teach them WH for wheel there. These have got little rhymes like web on a wheel, frog on the phone. It tries to link web, wheel, frog, phone. It tries to link in the one they know already with the new one, with some sort of little rhyme. And you can see here for 5A, all these are for reading. So we've got all the split digraphs. We've got oo for flu, and we've got 5 different ways there of spelling A-E-I-O-U. Okay, A-E-I-O-U. We've got U on the next page. Here's U. Argue, tube, for you. And then we've got these green ones. These are all introduced in 5A. When we get to 5B, I'm just going to show you the first page when we get to 5B. So we introduce in here what that actually says in words now, alternative pronunciations. So the A might say A in acorn, it might say O in was, it might say R as in father. So in 5B, we've got the alternative pronunciations for 6 weeks. And for example, we've got the C that they know as K over here is now introduced, as it might say, the S sound, as in circle. And the A, which says A for apple, is now introduced as saying O, as in wash. So there's quite a few alternative pronunciations in 5B. Then when we get to term 2, which is spring, we've got grey areas here, which are reading, and then the black ones without the grey are spellings. This is a national curriculum spelling here, and you'll see some of these national curriculum spellings, and the grey ones are reading. So for 5C, we've coloured these turquoise on the grapheme chart here, which is the illustrated one. We've got double letters coming in, and for example, with K, we've got stomach, chips in my stomach, that one is. So they know that ch can say K, chips in my stomach. We couldn't draw a stomach, so we just drew some chips, so hopefully see that they've been eaten there. We did draw a stomach, but it isn't very nice, so we decided to change it. Second half of spring term, there's some more here. So this is weeks 7 to 13. I put 13 here because there's only one extra one on 13 there. And you can see that we've got a lot more for the letter S. We've got the ED sounds as jumped, banged. So they're introduced there as well. And that's just the first page look with the sap pin. There's another 3 pages of these graphemes. That covers everything. And then we've got the term 3, which are here, which is a lot of revision. We've got phonic screening check around here. Look, revise, 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 and all these sounds are revised all the way through. And that's where we bring in all the sounds from the national curriculum. So all these are covered, all these are covered. And then we've also got all these spellings. So the ED, ING, ER, they're all in there. We've no change to the root word. You've got ch as TCH, we've got V as VE, we've got that there, and we've got plurals. So all of these are included within there. If I show you the progression of one sound, like A, so in 5A, week 1, we'll introduce the new grapheme AY, because they already know AI, so they know AI as in paint, and then we'll introduce the new picture for AY as in day, painting in the day. Notice we've got AI and AY within there. So I've got painting in the day. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So that grapheme links in with the paint and the day. This is the original chart, and you'll see the different A's for reading, and we'll say, right, we're here, we're on this one here. And then the spelling chart will just show that one as well. This is a unit of work here. Oral blending and segmenting, we'll tell you what they are. If you don't know what they are, they're all in the plans. So you can just say the word and the children break them down into different sections and then say them again, blend them back together. We'll tell you what words to make with the sound buttons. We'll be reading using the new grapheme for A, as in painting in the day. We'll do silent reading based on previous words that they've done before. A lot of these are CBCC, phase 4 structures there. Alien words using phase 4 structures as well. And then again, readings. Okay, so match the words to the pictures, and there'll be a task sheet that can go along with that too. Now that was week 1. When we get to week 4, we've got another A sound coming, which is split diagraph. So let me just show you how that matches in. Let me get back a bit. So we've done AI, we've taught AY, and now we're going to add a split diagraph as in make a snail. So we've got AI again here, make a snail, and that's making a picture of a snail there, make a snail. And there will be a few pictures and some animations in some of them, just to show how we can split that diagraph up and bring it back together. I'm just letting this run for a minute because this runs naturally here. So we've got the same, here comes the split, and then there's this split out and brought back in again to make same, and then we've got cave. Okay, so we've got the pictures, split that diagraph, and there it goes back together again. Okay, so they'll be in with any of the split diagraphs. And then when we get to 5B, we've got the letter A on its own that says A. It also says A, and it says O. Okay, and we've got it that also says R. So we've got A, R, and O. Okay, like wash here, father here, baby here. So this is another way now of spelling A. So when we get to 5C, we now know AI, AY, A split diagraph, A on its own, and now we have to read these AAA. And they're represented in a different way now. We've got they have 8 reigns. So we've got AI, A split diagraph, AY, A on its own, and these 3 new ones. We've put these together. They've got 8 reigns. They have 8 reigns, you can see there. Okay. And then we'll be looking at the words there. When we get to 14, we go through them again because we're starting to revise them. So we have the same one, but then we have the words that have all the A sounds there. If you want more information on spelling part of it, we've got this for Unit 1, which is Year 1. This is on our website. If you look on writing here, and it will go through units such as why we use B and why we use BE. So it might teach you as well as the children, if you need some subject knowledge here. It looks at short vowels, long vowels, and why they have E's. This is just some information to just show you some phonic workbooks for Year 1. This was from autumn term 2019. Just show you how we might use sound buttons, This teacher was using read and roll. Clouds, this is where spelling the words using IE and EA. This is using sentences using the same sounds. There is a leaf on the cloud, there is a bead on the cloud, there is a map on the cloud. So the repeating it and having lots and lots of practice. When we get to year 2, we have to look at these areas here. We haven't made units for these, but we have got the desk charts for reading, okay, and spelling, and we've also got the overview. The blue is year 1, so we revise year 1, and then we add the national curriculum graphemes from the spelling program for year 2. So we have to be able to spell these now, not just read them in year 2. So anything yellow is spellings that they may know as reading from year 1. And you can see this links into turquoise books, this links into purple books, and these link into the gold and the white. All of these from the national curriculum are included. And again, if you want spelling support, that is there. Click on year 2 within this writing section and you can find them there. I've used this with my class. This is part of it, using the apostrophe to show possession. The cake belongs to Anna. The football belongs to Mark, the cake belongs to Tom. So we drop those out the way and we switch them around, and then it's Anna's cake, Mark's football, and Tom's coat. When I did this with my class, I had to change the names and the subjects because they're all editable, so I kept changing that to the children's names in the class and something that they had, which they quite liked that. As far as the illustrated graphing charts concerned, look for the red for year 2. So there's red, look, there's an additional one. Some of these, this is just the first one of 4. Some of these have got a lot of red, some have got less, but it's all cumulative, as you can see. The year 3-4 one is more of this greeny colour here. So this is the year 3-4 chart, and you can see some greens here. So for G, for God, and tongue, they are spelled differently. That's part of the year 3-4 spelling. And then the 5-6 one is, again, you've got the green, but now we're adding in another one. The purple is for 5-6. So if you've got children coming through the school, they can see the colours and the year groups and the stage where they should have learned the previous ones. But if you need to revise, you can just look back. We have made this grapheme choice chart now for all of them. It goes on and on and on, right down to at the bottom. So these are all the graphemes and the little pictures related to sound. So you've got them all in one place. That's just for your reference. That comes as part of the illustrated charts. High frequency words, I'm just going to whiz through these quite quickly because we look at the tricky words, as I've said. We look at them within the phonic areas. Again, we cover all the common exception words here and look at where they're spelt according to their sounds. These are where the resources can be found, and for example 5A week 1 will have these in with their PDFs, as I've said, and it looks like this inside. Okay, that'll be a typical day. That's one day there. Tricky word day's got a lot in, simply because we're on phase 5 here and we've included phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4 decodable words and tricky words. Just take them out if you don't need them. We've included them because we don't know what you need, and then we've included the days or the weeks subject knowledge there, which is numbers, and there's some samples of work to do at the end. So you only use what you want. It's quite a long PowerPoint. You can see there's 81 slides there, but you just use the ones that you want to flash up. This is a typical for what it would look like. So you flash these up, and we've got the big ones, we've got new ones. These are decodable phase 4, these are decodable phase 5. There's quite a lot of decodable for phase 5. Then we've got the tricky words, and these are introduced bit by bit, and hide them, spell them, write them. And then we've got read and spell these words. These are revision, so they've done these before. We put the sound buttons in, we look at different things, and sometimes we look at the sounds here, as you can see. We're looking at where and were. So it's a phase 4 tricky word, looking at and look at where and here and there, here, you and your, find the links, there's you, there's our, just helps them to see where these have come from. and different sounds. And we look at I, my, and by. Okay, so phase 2, phase 3, words, and link them all in together. I think you've got the idea. That's how we make said, past tense. Okay, and there's the sound buttons. There's the ED. And we've got ing. I'm just whizzing through these just to show you. There's absolutely loads. We like this one particularly to show children with the short I. And then let's get it to one child with the long I. Okay, so children, child. Saw, this came because we were looking at saw in my classroom. And then we'll have something like this. I can spell face, 5 decodable words. I'll be looking at those. They will be decodable by this time. And then we've taken these straight from the letters and sounds, a real treat. So the children would find the words with the E phoneme or the A phoneme or the ow phoneme, whatever it says. And then afterwards we'll show you where they are. So we've got all these ways that jump in. Let me finish with that one, Pete. Okay, so what else can we offer you? We can offer you the bank of words for the phonic screening check. All the words that have been used so far up to 2019 are here. It goes on, there's about 400 slides there, but they're in structure order from CCVC or CCVC or VCC. Most of them are in the right place. You might find some that aren't. I think there's one with an alien on that isn't, but you can always add them on or take them off. I did see it once, but I haven't found it since. Here's the phonic screening check coverage. So these are what sounds you would find in set 1 and set 2, just for your own reference. And these are phonic recovery materials. So this would be year 1, year 2, year 3. So this is 5A. So it just shows you year 1, year 2, just some sort of things that we do. You see, they're quite busy. That's a week. And it's got even the CBCC words to revise. So it's got a lot of catch up as well as current work in. And there's your year 3. So we're looking at all the different A sounds there. And even we're starting to look at some of these statutory words there for year 3. This is assessment. I've only taken a little bit of this. This is what it includes. This includes all these group assessment grids, and then you've got individual assessment grids as well, because somebody wanted the individual ones as well. And it's got the phonics tracker for reading and for spelling. So that's the sort of thing it looks like. Can they read the letters? Can they read them in the words? Silly sounds, tricky words, all things like that. That's a group assessment grid, so you put the names down there. Once I did these for phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, it was requested that I had one that had all the phases for one child. So we've got those as well. This is year 1. This is the individual one. Look, it's got phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and it goes on. This is year 2. So the words we can read, and then you've seen the trackers. These are the flashcards. So you can see the different fonts, and so you can print those out. You can stick them on back to back, so you can see this bit, they can see that bit, or whatever you like. More flashcards. So this is looking at the sound for some, and spelled with and spelled with OU. And then we've got to measure the treasure. Wall display cards as well. These were requested. Have you got anything for the wall? Yeah, you have. You can put the cards up with the letters, and then you can say, right, these all say this is 5C. This is later on in year 1. And there's the picture. Look, some sons are young. Got a lovely young lady that did all our graphics for us. So the graphics are included within the ditties. So we've got some sons are young, you can see there, measure the treasure, search for the worm. So this is again reading as okay, they're all there. And then we've got the handwriting formation. Now with the handwriting formation, you can see here it uses the pictures that are there within our units, and then we've got the capital letters as well. So all of these, I said they were in phase 2 as they're introduced, but they're all separately in a PowerPoint as well within our handwriting pack. And we've got the capital letters, the lowercase, for the bag, and add the handle. So the little ditty really is for the lowercase letter, for the bag, add the handle. Okay, so that's about it. let's have a quick look at our future plans for the Teach Hub. Obviously, we've put in to be accredited, so we'll see how we go with that. But we're going to run with these resources anyway, because we know we get results from them, because it is it's very ordered and structured. But we are going to start creating the Phase 6 and Year 2 resources. We've got lots and lots of requests for those, so we'll be starting with those. And eventually we're looking in the future to perhaps make the flashcards and sell those, rather than having people to print and laminate. People are saying, oh, we've got such a lot of printing and laminating to do. Can we buy them? Well, yes, you will be able to, but at the moment we're still creating it. But that's our future plan. So I don't know if anybody else has got any requirements or any questions. You can always fire them at us through the email. So I hope you found that useful. I'm just going to stop sharing this now and pause it while I just show you where you can find things on our website. Okay, so let's just pause the recording. Okay, so if you want to find where our resources are, you can see the teachhub.co.uk. It's quite simple to find. You'll see our logo there. All these are drop-down tabs. We've just started a tutoring one. If you're interested in that, we're starting to put some tutors together now. But this is where you want to find Phonics. So click on Phonics, and it will take you to the Phonics page. You'll recognize this. And if you scroll down, there's a little bit more information there if you want it. And if you want to see the resources, they're all here, all of them. They just go on and on from page to page to page to page. That's all the units and everything. And there's the illustrated grapheme charts. But we've put them all here as well. Now, what some schools are doing is they're saying, right, I want that one and I want that one, and they'll choose what they want, and they'll just add one to whatever they want. They might want this, they might want all the planning, but they might think, no, I don't want those, but I do want those. And you can see they're all priced down there. This is just for us, really, just to see courses, and this course here, which is the free one, put that in, because what we'll do is we can then show you a course like this if you want to, which can be arranged. And the other thing that you need to know, if you put whatever you want into your basket there, it says here that training is available to get the full use of our scheme. So that's on the courses page, which I'll show you in a minute. The introductory course is free. It can be added in, as you've just seen, but we can deliver that to your school. So if you want us to deliver it to your school personally, we can do that, and we can try and meet your own needs. But just contact us at editor@theteachhub.co.uk if you'd like to take advantage of this, and we'll link it into your school and try and link it in with your books or whatever. So we'll have a little bit of information from you about that. You can also claim 2 free places on a phonics course of your choice that's scheduled within our online calendar there. Okay, and we do offer support for any school who's purchasing the programme. So if you want to look at the courses as well, that's here, courses, and just click on the phonics and spelling part there. Okay, so thank you. I hope you found that useful. Get back to us if you want to know anything, and we'll try and help you as best we can. All right, so thank you very much.